Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Tafua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Agnesi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Tisal. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, better roads for thousands of cane farmers. Journalists attacked in presence of police. And better borders mean better economy.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
A $30 million cane access road project underway in the Western Division is set to improve the livelihoods of thousands of cane farmers that have suffered for years due to poor roads. Prime Minister Verengembani Marama opened the Rural Access Roads and Associated Infrastructure project in Malolo Nandi this morning, pointing out his government's commitment to making life better for cane farmers. Ellen Stoltz reports.
Funded by the European Union and implemented by the Pacific Community, the project aims to drastically improve rural roads, an area the Prime Minister says has been neglected by previous governments.
These new rural access roads, ladies and gentlemen, brings that promise of connectivity here. They will ensure that your communities remain a part of the growth that Fiji is enjoying. The road to markets in Fiji and beyond begins here.
European Union Ambassador to Fiji and the Pacific, Andrew Jacob, says this will cut transport time for farmers and residents in the area.
The Rai Rai project has the largest budget, around 30 million Fiji dollars out of 11 ongoing and past projects focusing on sugar that the European Union has implemented or is implementing in Fiji.
Since the early implementation of the project, the Pacific Community has been working closely with stakeholders of the sugar industry.
Very difficult to take out the cane in rainy season, so if the road is good, it will be very easier for us.
Phase 1 begins with work in Malolo, which includes 2.9 kilometers of road. The project will then work on a 82-kilometer stretch in Drasa and finally 95 kilometers of road in Koronumbu. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
The safety of media personnel has come under the spotlight yet again after an attack on a journalist yesterday. In a shocking incident, a remand prisoner threw a stone at an FBC News reporter while in the presence of a police escort outside the Suva courts yesterday morning. To make matters worse, the police at the scene refused to take any action against the remand prisoner, even though the reporter was also verbally abused. Kelly Vidala reports.
What hurt the most was when I informed the
FBC journalist Pranita Prakash was shooting footage of a man sentenced in a corruption-related case in Suva when a remand prisoner being escorted by police to the cell block threw a stone at her, which struck her stomach. Prakash immediately related the incident to an officer who was in the vicinity, but the police officer refused to take any action, saying he couldn't do anything about it.
I was totally shocked when the remanded prisoner threw a stone at me. I was just doing my job, and what hurt the most was another prisoner passed some insulting comments to me as well.
The journalists need to be left to do their work because in the end it benefits everyone. We saw an incident where the Fiji television reporter was manhandled, and then we saw a Fiji Sun reporter get attacked recently. Now we see this terrible incident of a stone being thrown at one of the journalists.
Stanley Simpson says reporters cover court stories in order to inform the public and to ensure that justice is served under the law.
We have had some incidents where members of the public have attacked journalists. Again, we would request them, to respect the rights of the journalists. They're simply doing their job. They're not breaking any law.
Still continue to do my job with the best of my abilities.
The Fiji Police Force promises a thorough investigation into this incident, an incident that has put the spotlight on one of its own. Meanwhile, the Fijian Media Association is urging all Fijian journalists to continue to carry out their work with passion and confidence, to be fair and balanced with their reports, and also to serve the public diligently. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Meanwhile, Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission Director Ashwin Raj says it is deeply concerning that journalists are exposed to such situations and they must have a safe environment where media is able to discharge its duties. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem informed the Public Accounts Committee today they're still in the process of recovering money mispaid to polling workers in the 2014 general elections. He was responding to the mispayment identified in the 2014 Auditor General's report. Pranita Prakash reports.
The Supervisor of Elections says the situation arose due to incorrect information provided by the polling workers.
In one example I can give you, the person wrote his bank account number as his mobile number and his mobile number as the bank account number. So the classic case happened that the payment went to somebody else. So out of the 9,000 plus staff that the FAO had, mispayments were made for 38 people. And the amount is also 9,000 something dollars out of the 2 million plus that we paid up.
Saneem has assured the Public Accounts Committee that efforts are being made to recover the money.
In the first quarter of 2015, proceeded with small claims tribunal cases against these individuals who had not yet refunded. Payments are still coming in. So far we've recovered $735 and we will continue to follow up on this to make sure that the full sums are recorded.
The Elections Office will be implementing a fully computerized recruitment system that will do its own verification for each applicant in the 2018 general elections. The Elections Office will also be making arrangements with the banks to ensure bank accounts are active. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Well, there will be no change to the voting system in the 2018 general elections. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem put a rest to speculation about the introduction of a new voting system, saying the status quo will continue and electronic voting will not be considered. Opposition member Aseri Randronro raised the question on whether the Fijian Elections Office was planning to conduct electronic voting in the next general elections.
As far as practicable, all the process and systems from the 2014 will remain in the 2018. So the same system where you come in the line, you get names crossed off, then you go and get your ballot paper, go to the voting screen, which is the cardboard screen, and then you go and you get your finger inked, drop your ballot paper, and you exit. That is the process. There is no electronic voting involved.
Minister for Economy Ayaz Syed Qayyum says our borders not only need to be secured, but we must also ensure that people adhere to international practices and laws. Syed Qayyum is addressing the 18th World Customs Organization Asia-Pacific Regional Heads of Customs Administration Conference today. Anna Ravulo reports.
The Minister for Economy says individual economies can survive through many obstacles when people adhere to international approach.
Will we be able to ensure the survival of our individual economies? Will we be able to ensure that we are able to minimize criminal activities, in particular cross-border transactions that do take place that are actually illegal?
FIRCA Chief Executive Viswanath Das says technology is an important tool for border security.
The technological advancement, and definitely we can see the rising electronic commerce. So we need to address these issues about the cross-border transactions.
The three-day meeting will focus on Asia-Pacific regional issues on collaboration, from capacity building, intelligence, regional strategic plan and private sector engagement. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
Still ahead, Set Size campaign to be launched soon. And water woes end for Ului Savundua villages.
हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तवराबा में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
A 75-year-old woman died in a fire at her one-bedroom home in Vesese village, Lotoka, early this morning. Police spokesperson Ananai Soro says the woman was alone at home at the time. Investigation continues to ascertain the cause of the fire. The Consumer Credit Act 1999 was further reviewed and discussed by relevant stakeholders today. Permanent Secretary for Industry and Trade Shaheen Ali says the aim of the review is to put in place a consumer credit law to help all consumers.
The Consumer Credit Act 1999 will be finalized soon. After taking views of consumers around the country, the Industry and Trade Ministry today met with relevant stake.
The new act should provide clear rules for credit providers as well as adequate protection to the consumer. From our point of view, it is easy and practical to implement.
Senior Manager Corporate of the Consumer Council Bindula Devi says the consultations were fruitful as they received a lot of views.
I think it's a very good idea that we have representatives from different organizations present today who are able to contribute to the discussions as to how we want the Consumer Credit Act to look like. It's very important that the legislation tries to protect the rights and interests of consumers as well as the credit providers.
The key purpose of the Consumer Credit Act is to ensure that consumers or debtors are adequately protected and allowed to make informed decisions before they enter into a credit contract. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The Suva High Court has granted an application filed on behalf of former businessman Firoz Jan Mohammed for the Fiji Roads Authority to be party to the current proceedings. Mohammed was convicted of defrauding the FRA of over $3.1 million and is currently serving 8 years for bribery and obtaining financial advantage. FICAC is taking action under the Proceeds of Crimes Act to recover the money from Mohammed's company TF Jan Limited. The Fisheries Ministry will launch a campaign soon to raise awareness of the minimum size of fish that can be legally caught and consumed. The Set Size campaign is aimed at encouraging people to avoid catching, selling, buying or consuming undersized fish. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Fishing and consuming our ocean's wealth the right way, that's one of the aims behind the Set Size campaign.
There's already legislated in our legislation the minimum size for each species that is allowed to be consumed, more so that is allowed to be traded in the market.
Kadalevisat says in collaboration with civil society organisations, the campaign will also aim to improve fish stocks.
We are actively going out to try and set up our system of monitoring, control and surveillance on this to make sure that our own people are aware of the regulations.
It's an initiative not everyone is happy about.
No, but when we go out fishing, we can't throw the small size fish because we're spending our money to go out fishing. So we buy fuel, pay the boys.
They care about our future, That's why they're talking about the size of the fish. Actually, most of the time the divers they bring the sort of undersized fish.
I think it's good, but sometimes we feel sorry for the fishermen because they go out and do the fishing, and when they come back, sometimes they bring the small fish, and we can't reject them.
The Set Size campaign is ensuring that the right-sized fish are caught and consumed, given the effects of climate change becoming more evident and more challenging. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Water woes for 32 families in Uli Savundua in Samwani Neta Siri have come to an end. The Water Authority of Fiji has provided them with 25 tanks. Sainiani Boiler reports.
These families were all smiles because they will no longer have to endure water problems.
The tank will enable you to conduct your daily activities with ease without fetching water from farms.
Ului Sabundua Advisory Councillor Mahendra Chaudhary says people have been asking for assistance for some time now.
To get the water from the creeks. From the creeks. Oh, okay. So now they're going to get the fresh water from the roof.
Big relief, especially the women, because we use water mainly for household things and for drinking children.
A big help from the government of the day to supply this rainwater harvest. So we are very lucky at Uli Savundua for taking this opportunity from your government.
Over $20,000 was spent on these tanks. The government, through the Water Authority of Fiji, is working to ensure that all Fijians receive continuous and consistent water supplies. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The Fiji Roads Authority signed the Code of Practice for Utility Operators' Access to Road Corridors with Telecom Fiji Limited, Water Authority of Fiji and Fiji Electricity Authority. This Code of Practice defines mutual agreed objectives and requirements aligned with coordinated approach between the FRA and utility operators. It sets utility operators and other applicants to exercise their right of access to the road corridor for the placement, maintenance, improvement and removal of utility structures. This COP will also maximize the benefit to the public while ensuring that all utility operators are treated fairly. Well, Vashnil joins us later in sports as we look at the pool draws for Hong Kong Sevens. But for now, it's Rachel with business.
Yes, I'm Rita. Coming up in business tonight. Budget consultations kicks off in the Western Division tomorrow. And in Go in Fiji, Lautoka's refurbished Churchill Park opens. Stay with us.
I'm Prafnil from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Girdler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasalai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from Lapasa. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In business tonight, the budget consultations beginning tomorrow are expected to start off in the Western Division with the Fiji Disabled Association. Minister for Economy A.R. Syed Kiyum says consultations will be held in different venues and for different age groups. Syed Kiyum says they will also meet directly with various entities that receive government grants.
So we want to see how they are functioning, how they are utilizing their funds, how they're utilizing guarantees, and how we can sharpen the pencils with them too, and making sure that they're all aligned and they're all on the same page. Because as you saw from the function today, and all these delegates who are here at this World Customs Organization conference for the Asia Pacific region, there always needs to be an alignment of what all the different agencies are doing.
American stocks were slightly down today as everyone awaited a major announcement concerning interest rates. Here's Savanatha from HFC Bank to tell us more.
Vinaka Rachel. On the international stock market, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Index trended lower in the afternoon trading on Monday as drug stocks fell. The S&P 500 was down 0.09% at 2,370.26, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.2% to 20,861.22. Japan's Nikkei share average ticked up by 0.2% on Monday to a 15-month closing high of 19,633.75, despite less volume ahead of key global events later this week. Investors await the widely expected U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate hike later this week. It's anticipated to rise from 0.75% to 1%, which will affect our Fijian dollar. That's it from the international market. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Savanatha. On to today's exchange rates. The Chinese yuan and the American dollar continue to weaken against the Fijian dollar to close at 3.24 and 46 cents respectively. While a contrast in our regional currencies as the Australian dollar strengthened to close at 61 cents, the New Zealand dollar and the PNG kina weakened to close at 67 cents and $1.30 kina. Onto the commodities market, oil closed at $48.26 a barrel, which is a drop. Gold rose to close at $1,204 an ounce, and silver dropped to close at $16.95 an ounce. In Go in Fiji tonight, the $5.5 million refurbished Churchill Park in Lautoka was opened today. Prime Minister Varangi Bainimarama says athletes in the Western Division now have proper facility to train. Alan Stalls reports.
Thousands of students from schools across Lautoka gathered to witness the historic event, the opening of the new synthetic tracks and facilities at Churchill Park this afternoon.
It's indeed a day of celebration and joyfulness for all the citizens of the people of Lautoka, but of course, Western Division as a whole, because we have now our own synthetic tracks. We can be all proud of ourselves with this great achievement.
The Prime Minister acknowledged the continuous growth and development in Lautoka. These include the opening of Churchill Park and the new Tapu City complex.
This is Fiji's second city and a major manufacturing and business hub. Lautoka is an important driver of Fiji's economic growth. It is growing along with the rest of the Western Division, not just in size, but in sophistication and complexity. Government has responded by upgrading and expanding government services and facilities here and throughout the Western Division. The courts, law enforcement, health facilities, roads, schools, and recreational facilities.
A few veterans were the first to test out the new tracks as they competed in the 75-meter dash before students followed suit.
This magnificent facility is by far the pride of the Sugar City, and come next year it will also be host to the 2018 Coca-Cola Games. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Now with the very latest in sports, here's Vashnil.
Thank you, Rachel. Good evening. And coming up, Fijiana coach on hunt for more talents. And overseas reps ready for an impressive outing. This and more after the break.
Warong na radio Fijiwan. Bulan na rango fina wa korabiri nandi auto talitaka na warongo na radio Fijiwan na programa ni mas masu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe do talitakini na warongo na radio Fijiwan gina na domoiviti.
Na radio Fijiwan na domoiviti na vonga ni BNN.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens side has been drawn in Pool C of the Hong Kong Sevens. Fiji leads its pool with New Zealand, Wales and Japan. The defending Hong Kong champions, who haven't won any titles this season, hope for a better outing at the three-day tournament. Vancouver Sevens champion England heads Pool A with Australia, Samoa and South Korea. The Sevens World Series leader South Africa takes charge of Pool B with Canada, Kenya and France. USA has been drawn in Pool D with Scotland, Argentina and Russia. The Hong Kong Sevens will be held from the 7th to 9th of April. Telecom Fijiana coach Ilyas Tanivula will use the 41st Maris Sevens to scout for talents to strengthen his player base in Japan next month. Tanivula will name his final squad for Japan tournament after the Maris Sevens. Melita Vanga reports.
Fijiana head coach Ilyas Tanivula hopes to rope in more players in the extended squad to provide more options when selecting the team for Japan.
You know, I want girls who are playing at the Maris to put their hands up. You know, they want to get in there. And it's the package that, you know, the current girls are on. It's really, you know, just to see it and look back.
Tanivula is challenging women who will play in the Maris Sevens to step up and challenge themselves.
That are, you know, interested in getting into rugby, probably an opportunity to, you know, showcase their talent. Yeah, I'm still looking. And, you know, I have a dream to have a supply chain.
Fijiana captain Ana Maria Rongida was asked if she will captain her local club Maris Seahawks in the Maris Sevens.
I don't think so. I just want to be a player. So, well, I used to captain the team when I was in Maris. I love this club because that's the first club that I started playing rugby for. So Maris, they really are good. You know, they've been supporting us.
The Fiji Beta Maris Sevens will start next Friday and continue on Saturday at ANZ Stadium. Melita Vanga, FBC Sports.
New Zealand-based Vodafone Fiji football team players Rinal Prasad and James Hoyt are ready for a run next weekend. This is the first time they have been called into the national camp, which is preparing for the FIFA World Cup Stage 3 qualifiers against New Zealand. A very familiar face, former Bar midfielder Rinal Prasad is overwhelmed with a call-up into the national team.
Very happy when I heard the news that I was being called for the national team, and this is actually my first time for the main national team. I did play for under 20s though, but this will be a great experience for me to represent my country at the national level.
Another player looking forward to his big day in football is James Hoyett. The New Zealand-based player says he has gelled well with the local players.
Been really good, organized, which is important, and my training has been really good. See which direction the coach goes in, but no, I'm happy. So far, I'm happy.
Fiji football coach Christoph Gemmel will give them 3 more days before any selection is made.
They come with a very good mind, spirit. This is the first thing, and I thank them for that. After how they are in the field, they can match with the kind of play that I want.
These 2 players have a week to impress the coach before he names his final 20-member squad on next Wednesday. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports. The Fiji hockey side has finished 8th at the World League Round 2 in Bangladesh. That's it from sports. Weather is up next with NG. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, the Statue of Liberty went out for several hours on the eve of the International Women's Day. Find out more after the break.
I'm another Sorbakro of Nayabu Wenabuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Developers will no longer be able to use surveillance tools to collect data from Facebook. The social media company updated its policies on Monday. It's time now for weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Well, it turns out Tuesday is the most productive day of the week for getting things done at work, at school or wherever. And there is no denying that the sun makes you feel so much better. So make the most of the bright and sunny weather before the showers start. Now let's check out what the day was like in the west. It was a clear sunny day with temperatures scorching in the 30s. It must have been a great day for those who actually made out time to enjoy the cool sea breeze. Eastwards from Pakaba to Suva, there were a few early morning showers which gradually turned to a pleasant sunny day. And up in Vanma level, it was a hot one too, with temps hitting 33 degrees for Lambasa, while Sabu Sabu was fine at 30. Few showers can be expected for later tonight. Tomorrow, it will be just like today with just a slight chance of showers by later in the evening. Tomorrow's temps, the west is once again looking hot with highs of 30. Looking further on to Thursday, a change in the weather pattern is likely. There will be some showers in the east and the north, but later, we can enjoy all that in the nighttime. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And to the tides, the next high tide tonight is at sharp 8, with a low tide tomorrow morning at 2:14. And that, Amrita wraps up FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks, Angie. We all miss Jackie. We hope you get better soon. On Fijian Pulse today, we ask, do you know the right size of fish that can be caught and consumed?
Now we are not aware of the right size. There hasn't been any publicity or awareness on this.
Yeah, it should be more than almost 12 inches or more than 6 or 7 inches.
Not really, but there's a small fishes available, so it's what we get, we buy it.
Recapping the main stories, better roads for thousands of cane farmers, journalists attacked in presence of police, and better borders mean better economy. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, do you understand your tax obligations? Visit our FBC website to answer. Now, before we go, tonight's shot of the day was sent all the way from Lautoka by Isaac Tuinasa. It was taken at the Lomolomo beach. What better way to enjoy the sunset? And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time, good night.
कमल रोशनी है, हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन ताबुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन ताबुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश ताबुआ में रहता है, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.